Hello friends in the pig farming industry. This is Dr. Gopakumar, Managing Director of DLG Farms, Bangalore here. And this message is in wake of a report that there is large number of pigs dying in Assam. If you look at the history of many of the outbreaks of pig diseases in India, we had always been late in responding and taking controlling measures, and the disease has spread to a larger area. An example is the classical swine fever. Even when it was an endemic disease of Asia and it was seen in few states, the states had either not identified the disease or reported in time, and hence the vaccine that was available in India was at those times was of a low quality and the production was very meager, and hence the disease spread across the country. Now the vaccination is generally accepted and there is a large number of vaccine production happening, but by this time the disease has become a pan-Indian disease. Another disease is the PRRS, which was again identified in one of the northeast states, and by the time it was taken serious, the disease has spread to other states in the country. Unfortunately, the vaccine that can control PRRS is yet to be made available in India. The disease of global importance now is African swine fever, and it has reached China, and as northeast states, especially states like Arunachal, has boundary with China. African swine fever is a disease which was first identified in early 19th century in Africa, and by mid 19th century it was seen in Europe, in some countries of Europe, and by 20th century, early 20th century, it was available in Russia and adjoining countries. In 2018 it became a very important disease and it struck China, resulting in a large or huge losses for the pig farming industry. The disease also spread to other Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Vietnam, etc. The important factor is that the African swine fever cannot be controlled with a vaccine, and an effective vaccine to control the African swine fever is yet to be found. So the control is only possible by biosecurity measures. The deaths that has happened in Assam is reported to be due to classical swine fever as of now. I sincerely hope and would love to believe that it is due to classical swine fever. But the worry is that many of the deaths has happened, most of the deaths has happened in districts which are adjoining to Arunachal Pradesh, and Arunachal Pradesh has a boundary with China. Earlier, the pigs as well as pork was not coming out of the northeast. The pigs were usually taken from adjoining states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar for slaughter to the northeast. Seeing this big advantage and big market, many of the states in north like Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, and states like Karnataka and Andhra has started moving animals to the northeast for slaughter. And in this process, the movement between north and the other parts of the country has increased. Another factor I have noticed is that the farmers as well as some of the institutes have taken fancy in the black and white animals seen in northeast. The so-called Hampshire or Hampshire-like animals are now being bought and brought to the other parts of the states. It's also interesting or important to note that most of the attenders in the pig farms of North India as well as South India are from Northeast. So, friends, it is very important that we take precautionary measures before the disease, if present in Assam, doesn't come to our states. Usually the African swine fever only infects pigs and no other animals, but it can also infest ticks. It can stay in ticks. Ticks are small insects which stick onto the body of livestock and they suck blood. The ticks can live even without blood or their food for around 6 to 8 months. And hence, if these ticks are getting transported from an area of disease where the African swine fever is present to another area, they can bring in the disease to the other area. So, it's very important, friends, that we should start using periodically insecticides which can kill ticks in your farms. Similarly, it is also equally important to make sure that the ticks are not mechanically getting transferred through the vehicle or people coming from the northeast. So the inanimate objects as well as the vehicles which are going to the northeast and returning should also be properly sprayed and sprayed with insecticides to make sure that if there is any ticks, they are killed. Suppose the disease is African swine fever. It is getting proved that African swine fever is the cause of death in Assam. And if it reaches by any chance to the other states, the other mode of transmission within the new area is through the wild pigs as well as swill. Swill is, when I mean swill, it's the leftover of the human food. It can be a restaurant waste, or it can be a hostel waste, or it can be a mess waste, or a kitchen waste. So these items can also transmit the disease. Especially the disease can stay in meat for long periods. So it is important that we have to control the movement of wild pigs. In South India, like states like Karnataka and Andhra, there are large forest areas and there is ever increasing population of pigs which are also going to the neighboring areas. So it is very important to control the pigs, wild pigs, if they are coming to your farm. Similarly, to control the disease, it is also better to avoid swill feeding. I would say that if we can stop swill feeding, it is the best. But most of the farms in the south as well as north, especially the fattening farms, are using the swill feed from the urban areas. So if we are using the swill and if we cannot avoid it, it is better that we avoid taking swill from a place where it can be contaminated or where it can be mixed with the remnants of meat, especially pork. Similarly, cooking of swill to a very high temperature can also kill the viruses and possibility of disease. So similarly, it is also equally important that the vehicles and the containers which are used for collecting swill doesn't get mixed with those coming from a different unknown farm, because if there is a disease in one farm, this could be a mode of transport. Friends, I would like to cut short the message. More information regarding the control as well as disease can be obtained from our company representative, Mr. Manjunath Reddy. His number is 968-666-1004. I repeat, 968-666-1004. Thank you, friends. Take care. Prevention is always better than cure.